All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us on the Simply Bitcoin channel, where we break down all the daily Bitcoin news, daily fails, meme review, and of course, software releases. Drop us a like and subscribe. All right. Let's kick it off with some numbers.
Clock booty dashboard.
Okay, so the block height of 653,888. We're looking at a Bitcoin price of 13,026. Chain rewrite days 538. Total lightning capacity 1,044.50 Bitcoin.
And looking really good, Phil.
This is like, we're kind of containing, we're definitely containing ourselves about this bullish AF action, but like seriously, guys like Keith McCullough must be so eating the crow right now with their terrible calls and their stupidity with the quad four. Losers. Anyways.
I totally agree. Guys, remember, don't check your Blockfolio while driving. It's time for
the daily fail. All right. This was submitted by one of our fellow listeners and Bitcoin plebes, Sim, out of our Telegram group, which we encourage all the listeners to come and join so that you can all contribute. The link will be down in the show notes. I see you signaling. I will signal too. Okay, so attention. Okay, so this was taken. This is from Reddit, and yeah. So let's take a look. This is the the bitcoin.com. Anyways.
Wait. Give some context what bitcoin.com is for the non-initiated.
Don't understand what bitcoin.com is. Bitcoin.com is owned by Roger Ver. Okay. It is not a Bitcoin product per se or a face for Bitcoin. It is a face and marketing engine for Bcash. Okay. We're not going to dignify it by calling it, Bitcoin Cash, because that's just disingenuous. So
doesn't deserve that.
Never call it that ever again. It's always Bcash. And anyways, so that's what bitcoin.com is. So here we go. This is actually here we go. This is this is what starts the thread. Attention exchanges and miners, BCHN. So I guess that's the spin-off from
who knows
Bcash. Anyways, not ABC is the recommended node implementation for the November 15th upgrade. And then you start scrolling through this thing and you just realize that every single person is just completely confused about what's going on. And there is just, and not that there should necessarily needs to be a leader. There doesn't necessarily require to be a single person to lead anything. There simply requires some order, and that takes cooperation from multiple people. And as we're obviously going to have that link, in the show notes, so you guys can go check it out yourself. But it is just absolutely cringe and pure confusion.
Yeah, and could you imagine? It's crazy because if you don't upgrade that node, it doesn't have the back compatibility that Bitcoin has. Like, you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, Phil. It's crazy.
No. And again, right? I mean, this was, people could say whatever they want, but in my eyes, this was an attempted attack on Bitcoin. And I think on a lot of Bitcoiners' eyes, this was an attack on Bitcoin that failed miserably.
Absolutely.
And now they're going to go and chop it again, and try to spin it into some new shiny piece of turd.
100%.
Yeah.
So I got a lesson. 2 days in a row. Bitcoin Cash is not Bitcoin.
I got a lesson. It's Bcash, never Bitcoin.
Oh, that's a good lesson. All right, Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
And the meme is brought to us by a fellow plebe, Bavarian Hodl. Shout out to you. Hodl. Represent the Bavarians in Germany. Okay.
All right. Looks like it's going to be another. Is this another soccer meme?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, it's the bull run.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Phil,
Uh,
what do you think? I liked it.
This was very okay. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first? Me? All right, here we go.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I'm totally giving it a 10. I'll tell you why after.
Man, I'm gonna be a little bit harsh.
Go ahead, be harsh.
We're not in sync today, Phil. I don't know what's going on.
We're Bitcoin enemies.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
I like that.
So why did
I
you
just wait. I just understood the group name now. God damn. Okay.
That's right.
Smart. Okay. I gave an 8.5. It was good. It was funny, right? But there was something that I didn't like. I felt like the production needed just one step. There was something not totally good, perfect for me. But why do you give it a 10?
Okay. So I'm a sucker for, I'm a child of the 80s. And to have Bitcoin represented by Hulk Hogan, okay, because like I used to watch this when I was a kid, like, and like this was huge, man. To get to see him step into like SummerSlam, get up on that, like get into that ring and just pound everybody out of that ring and win. Like, dude, I'm sorry, but I'm giving that a 10 because Hulk Hogan for sure is like the wrestler, the wrestler symbolism of Bitcoin.
Dude, so it hit a sweet
spot.
To
this day, he's still the king.
It hit a soft spot, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I gave. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, because when we did the Swan Bitcoin thing, no, it's who cares, man. This is a personal Beam review.
That's right.
Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
Pretty spicy news today. The Department of Justice crypto framework is a complete disaster for digital privacy rights. Man, according to an attorney from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, Phil, this is kind of just, we've been covering this, the foundation. We had a segment on it, and it's just adding to our initial thoughts, right? If you're seeing these activist groups, right, that are trying to protect digital privacy, if they agree with that, especially on something that's it's really not a direct thing on privacy. It really has to do with Bitcoin, right? It really has to do with crypto. So the fact that they're willing to go out of their way to say something like that must mean that this lawyer is not at all happy with what the government's stance on Bitcoin.
I actually recently saw the movie The Great Hack, and it just made me think of a point in it. And, it's like data rights are human rights. And it's true, and it's not just about like the commercialization of our data, but it's also about this, like this is definitely stepping into a whole new frontier. And I don't believe our existing framework had ever planned for any of this. And I think that unfortunately, this is going to be a lot of people trying old tricks in this new arena. And
does it work? It doesn't work.
I don't I totally agree. I don't think it works, and it's just I think we're in for a rocky I think it's going to be a rocky ride. I
agree. I think this decade is going to be, to use your Hulk Hogan, right? It's going to be a wrestling match between the US and Bitcoin. Phil, so the second piece of news for today, it's kind of a follow-up to our news yesterday. Man, PayPal, it really looks like they're really embracing it. Bloomberg is reporting that they're in talks to buy BitGo. So first of all, I always respect the hustle. Shout out to BitGo because you guys are going to cash out real nasty. So shout out to you guys. I don't know Bitcoin. I don't know anything about BitGo, but it really looks like PayPal is very serious about entering the Bitcoin space. Now, the only question, and I'm just going to reiterate what we were talking about yesterday, Phil, PayPal adding Bitcoin is really not that awesome because they're not allowing people to take self-custody, and that defeats the whole purpose of Bitcoin. So inevitably, there's going to be noobs that are sucked in. Hopefully, they get wrecked in the process. And Caitlin Long actually had a really interesting tweet today, which I'm going to put right here. And she was talking about how we're seeing the rehypothecation of Bitcoin going on as we're living through this. And the only difference with Bitcoin rehypothecation, for anyone that doesn't know what rehypothecation is, it's basically when a bank sells assets that they don't have, right? So let's say that over and over again, right? So that's what's potentially possible with paper Bitcoin. The only difference is, guys, that there's no big daddy bank or big daddy government to give you a bailout right here. So if these firms that are selling Bitcoin they experience a bank run or a run, guess what? There's no one to bail out their mistakes. So, in the long term, it's bullish. I feel bad for all the people that are going to be buying Bitcoin on PayPal, because they're not going to be having that full experience. What do you think about all this, Phil?
So a couple of points. So BitGo, I know that part of their operation involves with providing custodial services. Okay, so that one reason I could see PayPal jumping into this. One of the points I want to make on this is that PayPal is smart enough to see that they are not capable enough to do their own thing. Okay, so they're going to go and acquire somebody. So they're smart enough to know that, and they're smart enough to go after one of the, one of the, kind of like tried and true players in our space. BitGo has been around for a long time. So in terms of Bitcoin, even though the arena is not, isn't really that old. The other part to this is that in terms of the rehypothecation, okay, this could be a very weird kind of dystopian type of plot, because if too many people come into Bitcoin and purchase rehypothecated Bitcoin, there absolutely, could end up a situation where they can't get their Bitcoin, right? Because it doesn't actually exist. So that could really sour, Bitcoin's image, and in terms of like the mainstream. Obviously, I don't necessarily think that there's like a giant grand conspiracy to do something like this, but I just like to think stupid thoughts, and it's like, okay, that's kind of interesting that they would go in this route. But either way, to your point, the PayPal news is really no news. And of course, they're not adding anything to the space. They're just going to buy an existing player. So shout out to them, if they get to cash out, good for them. But yeah, PayPal's not innovating.
I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, it's exactly. When Elon was part of it, yeah, dude, they actually tried to do this, but they just got hampered on by those regulations and the fact that they weren't decentralized.
100%. You had a place you had a nice single target to shoot at, and that was always the problem.
100%.
Well, one of the problems.
100%. Phil, there was a software release today.
Software releases. Okay, let's take a look. What do we got today? So, all right, very interesting. We've got Bisq version 1.4.2 that was released. Okay, startup time improvements. They've got trade protocol improvements, withdrawal to SegWit addresses, Bitcoin J version 0.15.8 was in it, and Tor browser, version 10. And you'll get that in the release notes down below.
Thanks, Phil. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin. If you liked the episode, subscribe. If you really, really like the episode, I did that backwards. Like, subscribe, you get it. Anyways, tune into this tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin. And of course, no shitcoin. See you guys later.